My man Adam showed up to raise Langa decked out in all black, looking like some kind of Grim Reaper. He even had a coffin for a skateboard. I mean, that is why I freaking love Adam. Theatrics like that. He went as far as to put a gravestone at the finish line. The message he was trying to send was very clear. There was no confusion. Langa was going to die. Except that he did it. What is up, y'all? It's your man, that dude, bringing you guys another video. I am giving out subscriptions down below, so if you like Sk8 the Infinity, I review every episode, and I talk about the anime too. You don't really say things, go hit that button. Also, feel free to follow and hit me up on Twitter, @DadDudeAnime. That was a pretty satisfying finale for an anime that only ran 12 episodes. I love that they didn't waste their time with any pretense, and they jumped straight into Adam versus Langa when we got right through the race. They didn't waste their time with any kind of setup or nothing like that. No, straight to the race. I didn't like that the dreaded zone made an appearance in Sk8 the Infinity. That's becoming such an overused trope in anime now. I mean, even Jujutsu Kaisen has a zone in it. I just don't like it. I mean, it was cool when it first popped up, like in Kuroko's basketball and anime like that, but now it feels like it's just everywhere, and I'm not really a fan of it. But that might be the only part of this episode that I didn't like. Adam really pulled out all the stops to beat Langa. He combined his love hug move with whatever he calls this move where he just fucking picks up his skateboard and tries to go upside your head with it. Whatever he calls that move, he combined the two, but being the uber talented guy that Langa is, he always had a counter. He was able to counter that move, and even when Adam swung off the side of a cliff on a vine or some shit and came back around, brandishing his board as a weapon, Langa again had a counter. And after that, it was pretty much a clean race. The race maybe would have been better if Langa had struggled more. He didn't really struggle all that much during the race. He countered all of Adam's moves. And besides, when they clashed and they fell down, it took a while to both get up. There wasn't really a point where Langa struggled during the race. I would have liked maybe him have a little bit of struggle at some point in time during the race, and he overcame that and then beat Adam. But I can't complain too much because it's not like he just completely outclassed Adam, where he just tapped into some hidden reserve of ability and just became so much better than everyone else at S, even Adam, and just won the race by a mile. It was a very close race down to the last second. I mean, Langa barely won by the tip of his board, so I can't complain too much. But I would have liked for Langa to struggle a little bit at some point in time during the race. He entered the zone with Adam. He came out of the zone, and that was pretty much it. There wasn't a point in time where you really felt like, oh no, Langa's going to lose this race. I would have liked maybe a little more suspense to it and to feel like, maybe Langa's not going to win. We didn't really get that, but it was still a very enjoyable race. What turned the tide in Langa's favor was after they clashed and they were both trying to get up, instead of getting up and getting on his board and trying to race ahead, he got up, picked up Adam's board, and handed it to him. And that move really signified that to Langa, winning isn't what was most important. Having fun and enjoying the race, enjoying racing against somebody of Adam's ability is what was most important to Langa. That's what he's really racing for. That's what he enjoys from S. It's not the winning. The winning is kind of secondary. Yes, he wants to win, but he wants to enjoy the race more so than just win the race. And that really fucked with Adam's mind, right? Adam can't really fathom how anything besides winning can matter. And given what we've seen of his upbringing and even his current life now, it's not hard to understand why he thinks that way. That dude really didn't have a chance to turn out normal. His bitch aunts, even currently in the story, are like fucking with him all the time about being a proper successor or heir to the family, all that kind of stuff. So it's hard to blame Adam for the way he turned out. The guy never really had a shot at having a normal personality when it comes to stuff like coping with failure and accepting that, hey, winning isn't everything. When from birth and the way he was raised to there's no such thing as failure. You always have to succeed. You have to be the great heir to the family. Yeah, he was bound to be a fucked up guy. There is one more thing that I didn't like about this episode besides the zone coming into play, and that's the resolution to the storyline around Adam being investigated for perjury. That was a running thing through the latter half of the show, and it all got resolved in this episode with just a quick phone call, and that was it. If the resolution was going to be that quick and insignificant, what was the point of having that storyline in the show at all? Maybe it was there just to prove that Adam was also a villain outside of S, not just in S, in everyday life, he was a villain there also. But it really seemed like that was going to be something more important than what it was. And it was just kind of resolved with a quick phone call, and that was it. The investigation was over. That the cop who was coming after him got transferred, and that was it. I didn't like that resolution at all. I was hoping for something a little more meaningful with that. Like, maybe he goes to jail, or he goes to jail and his family loses the status, and that causes him to change as a person, or just something like that. But the resolution we got was just so unsatisfying. It was just unsatisfying where it wasn't satisfying. It just wasn't good. And that was maybe the biggest thing about this episode that bothered me. I don't want to complain too much because out of everything in the show, this was not a very important plot. It wasn't a very important storyline, but it was present throughout the latter half of the show. It was constantly like in the background. What's going to happen with this perjury investigation? The cops are closing in on Adam. What's going to happen with that and his family? And then it was all just wrapped up with a single phone call. I just didn't like that. It could have been handled so much better. All in all, this episode was just about as good as the finale for a 12-episode anime could be. I really enjoyed it from, beginning to end, except for like a few moments here and there. But I really enjoyed the episode all the way through. I did get a little scared at the end when Langa jumped into Reki's arms and they had that kind of intimate moment as they laid there on the ground together. I was afraid for a minute, not because I would have any problem with their relationship turning romantic, but because I already made a whole video talking about how their relationship is centered around platonic love, and I would hate to have to go back and make another video saying I was wrong. So I'm glad that didn't really go anywhere. Again, not for any reasons of not wanting to see two guys be romantic. I don't give a damn about that. Love is love. I just don't want to have to make another video saying I was wrong, and I will link that video down in the description. Please go give it a watch. But yeah, fingers crossed for a second season of Sk8 the Infinity. And that's really all I have for you guys in this one. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. And if you are so inclined, subscribe and share it. It would help me out a lot. If you didn't like the video or if you disagree with anything I said, let me know why in the comments. We can talk about it. I respond to almost anything. Also, again, feel free to follow and hit me up on Twitter @DadDoAnime. And I'll see you guys in the next one.